Welcome to Land of the Bible. I'm David Sussman. Today, we venture to Tel Dan, a place where geography, archaeology, and faith all intersect. Nestled near the headwaters of the Jordan River, Tel Dan was once a major city in the Kingdom of Israel, strategically located at the foot of Mount Hermon. This lush area, fed by one of the largest spring systems in the Middle East, is not only visually stunning, it's historically and biblically significant. We'll explore the remarkable archaeological finds, the lush nature reserve that surrounds the ruins, and the role this region played in biblical and later Israelite periods. The natural beauty of Tel Dan contrasts with the ancient stones, reminding us how this land has always been a place of life, resilience, and legacy. So join me as we uncover the story of Tel Dan, a gateway into both history and promise.
G'day, I'm Paul. Thanks for joining us again on Land of the Bible. Today's a really special day. Today I get to show you around Tel Dan, where we get to take the Bible, history, nature, and put it all together and show you also one of the most important water sources in the entire land of the Bible. Here at Tel Dan, we're located in what's known in Hebrew as the Etzbat Galil, the very finger of the Galilee, right at the very northern edge of Israel. Here in this site, apart from the beauty of the nature, we have over 4,000 years of history combining our Bible, our history, civilization in the area. And what better place to do it than right here by the beautiful springs of the Dan River, one of the major sources of water throughout the country. As we stroll through Tel Dan on this beautiful summer morning through the shady paths, on our way to see some of the greatest, biggest archaeological finds in the country in history of the last 100 years, let's take a moment to enjoy how amazing the nature is. This place itself is a nature reserve, providing life for so much flora and fauna. It is a huge part of the ecosystem and is not something that should be taken for granted. And here in this park, it is all preserved for us to enjoy and hopefully for the future generations to also enjoy. The Dan River itself is just one of 3 major rivers that contribute to our Jordan River. It's very simple. We have the Dan, we have the Chatzbani, and we have the Banyas rivers. All these 3, including all the tributaries around the Golan Heights and the Galil, all combine to end up in the Sea of the Galilee, the Kinneret. From there, they will continue to flow south, all the way to the Dead Sea. This particular spring provides more than half the entire water supply for the country. there's over 250 million cubic liters of water that flow just from the Dan stream. It's pretty amazing. Together between the three rivers, on a dry winter, we have about 500,000 cubic liters of water flowing here perennially. It's pretty phenomenal that even today it still flows. And this is what we hear around us, and this is what makes this place so special. The fresh, clean, sweet water that you can wade in, drink, and provide life for everything around us. Oh, wow. Hey. Wow, check this out. Look what we found right here on the path. Do you guys know what these are? These are porcupine needles. 2 of them even. Porcupines are just one of the animals that you'll find here in Tel Dan. You'll be very hard pressed to see them walking around in the middle of the day. They're more nocturnal. However, other animals such as salamander are very unique, specifically to this site. Really cool. Let's go see what else we find. I purposely stopped here by the wading pool just to point out a couple of things. Number one, over the last few years, the national parks have done a major upgrade throughout the country, providing wheelchair accessibility to many sites previously inaccessible. So number one, I think that's amazing. But the other thing is, this is the only water within the entire national park of Tel Dan that you are permitted to enter and splash around. I do recommend water shoes, but it's shallow, come with the kids, bring a picnic, you can eat here, it's fine. But definitely don't miss the opportunity to wade and splash in the beautiful, fresh water of the Dan. Thought I would just take an opportunity to really enjoy where I am. See, visiting places like this gives me the chance, open up my Bible, read some scriptures specifically related to this place, and see how Dan is mentioned so many times through the Bible. For me, it creates this really special connection between my heritage, my country, my people, our history, and our future.
Imagine walking where Jesus walked, where faith comes to life. Feel the Bible story unfold around you, from the green Galilee to Jerusalem's ancient streets. Experience the serene and welcoming land of the Bible, where miracles happen. Put your heart where His footsteps are. Visit Israel.
As I've stepped out of the beautifully shaded path through the trees, I have now gone back 3,000 years in history. That's what you feel like as you come across the site of these huge fortified walls and city, going back to the time of the Israelites and the first temple. I'm standing now at the gate of the Israelite town itself, of the whole city of Dan. For me, standing in a place like this, it actually gives me goosebumps. I'm holding and touching here stones that were carved out by my ancient forefathers thousands of years ago when they built this city. The fact that I'm standing here today and I can still see this makes my imagination go wild when I can bring the stories from my Torah, from the Bible, to life and see that these are not just any other stones. These are Israelite stones from the time of the temple. One of the unique things about ancient cities, not just here in Dan, but all over the region, was how trade was done. You see, trade didn't happen within a city. It actually happened by the gates on the outside of the city in the platform that we saw earlier as we entered into the gates. You see, when people came to do trade, they came from everywhere, and Dan was no exception. Being on the northern edge, we are on the border of all of those ancient communities such as Aram right next to us. That means people are coming from all over the region to do trade right here. And then from here, they would also go south, east, possibly west across the coast into the water. The possibilities are endless in this region with so many civilizations so close to us. But animals are the main reason trade happened. Horses, donkeys, camels, goats, sheep, none of that actually entered the city because the city, we want it to be clean. So to avoid that problem of, let's say, hygiene, all of the trade that happened outside the city gates during the daytime. And that is one more reason why we see how the gates themselves are secured. The king would sit and be part of the people. People would be coming from everywhere. Once their trade had been completed, they could then enter the city and enjoy what the city had to offer. It's good to be the king. Where am I? Well, I'm standing, or actually sitting on the bama, the high place where the king would sit. What was going on here was something that was very common in any ancient city, especially here in Israel. You see, when the king felt that he wanted to be part or join in with the common people or provide judgment or give them some sort of service as their king, he would come down and sit in his throne brought here on a special high place for the people. And here the king would hear the people, make judgment, provide punishment if necessary, or reward, depending on what he was dealing with at the time. And right here, by the very gates of the Israelite city of Dan, was where the kings of Israel sat. I've traveled far to be here, folks, and I've done my trade, and if I was really lucky, I got to be here on the day that the king of Israel was standing by the gate. That's kind of cool. However, today, he's not there, but I still have one more obstacle: Israeli security. In this case, ancient Israeli security. You see, I'm standing right in the middle of a 4-chambered gate. This is a sign for us, archaeologically speaking, of an Israelite existence. And right here was the last point before I entered the city. You see, once I got through here, I could finally come in and enjoy all that the city of Dan had to offer. After King Solomon's death towards the end of the 10th century, his son, Rehoboam, becomes king. However, it's not so simple. Remember, we're talking about the grandson of King David. There was another man in the book of Kings. His name is Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. That's how we read it. And he ends up gaining the support of the northern 10 tribes of Israel and uprises against the United Kingdom. He ends up splitting the entire United Kingdom of Judea and Israel to become now 2 separate entities. Judea in the south and Israel in the north. Around the turn of the 10th century, we have here a king by the name of Jeroboam ruling. He rules, as we learn in the book of Kings, for 22 years. He is trying very hard to build up the community here, to build up Israel as he knows it, and more importantly, become a significant place of worship. You see, the first temple is standing in Jerusalem. To prevent his subjects from traveling south into Judea, he sets up a new cult. And in the second book of Kings, we read about how Jeroboam sets up an altar. And what I'm standing at here is an iron replica to size of the altar that Jeroboam set up as a cult practice to go against that of Jerusalem. But it wasn't just here. Also in Bethel, in Beit El, he also sets up another altar. And in both places, he puts two golden calves, one there and one here for worship. Now, clearly this goes against everything that monotheism and Judaism stands for. However, to build his kingdom up, to build the strength, and to keep his people away from Judea, he was willing to go that step to prevent them from going south back to Jerusalem. We just left the ancient Israelite city of Dan. Now let's keep exploring Tel Dan National Park and go even further back in time. We have now traveled even further back in time by about 1,000 years. And I am now approaching the ancient Canaanite gate here in Tel Dan. What you see behind me is an ancient Canaanite mud gate. Mud brick gate from 4,000 years ago. How do we know that it's that old? How was it dated? Well, that takes us back to modern excavations. They started here in Tel Dan in 1966, but it wasn't until 13 years later, in 1979, that this particular gate was discovered. It was dated back to the ancient Canaanite city that was here 4,000 years ago. It is the oldest arched gateway in the world. The only other one that we have that matches this is also in the Holy Land, and that is by Ashkelon, where they found another gate dated to the same period with a very similar architectural design. Excavations began here in 1966. However, the gate behind me was not discovered until 1979. Excavations here in Tel Dan and around the country are still going. However, what is really special about this particular one is that as they continue to excavate in, and of course, it's hard to see from where we're standing, but they didn't discover one more gate, they discovered two more gates behind this one, which means we now have a triple gated mud brick arch entrance to an ancient city from 4,000 years ago. Now we know that this site is 4,000 years old. This is significant to us because it brings us back to the biblical time of Abram. But what's even more significant about this site is its geographical location, and it correlates exactly to what we read about in the book of Genesis. The very first mention of Dan in the Bible is in the book of Bereshit. And here we read in chapter 14 about Abram. And what does it say? And Abram heard that his kinsman had been taken captive, and he armed his trained men, those born in his house, 318, and he pursued them until Dan. Here we have it, the book of Genesis, talking about the city of Dan.
I will bless those who bless you, God promised Abraham. Embrace this covenant by connecting with the people of Israel. From Jerusalem's stones to Galilee's shores, experience living faith through their traditions and hospitality. Your journey is more than visiting biblical sites. It's about hearts that welcome your friendship. Your presence matters. Discover Israel.
Think about all the things we got to see today. Let's start with the Canaanite gate. A gate found not even 50 years ago, but dated 4,000 years old. One of the oldest surviving engineering feats for mankind from that period, dating back to the biblical times of Abram. The time, the effort, the energy, the digging, the preservation, years and years of work, so that today we can enjoy it, we can learn from it, and most importantly, keep the history alive for future generations, is something of an astounding feat that is ongoing today. Not just in the national park here in Tel Dan, but all over the country. We also got to walk around the ancient Israelite city of Dan. The ancient gates, the walls, the marketplace, the high place for the king, the altar that Jeroboam built. This place definitely doesn't bore, and it has every corner to turn around to find something new. The fact that I can go around today, a city that my forefathers built with their bare hands thousands of years ago when the first temple still stood in Jerusalem, still gives me goosebumps, and I'm not even standing next to it. Definitely something that we cannot and will not ever forget, and how we're able to make the Bible come alive again in just one more site right here in the National Park of Tel Dan. But that wasn't all. What about the beauty of the place? How amazing is the stream, the cold, fresh water, the sweet drinking water that is supplying to this country more than half of the amount of water to fill the Sea of Galilee, the Canary. Still flowing today as it did millions of years ago. In fact, it is still the biggest, largest, strongest caustic stream of fresh water on the planet, right here on the northern edge of Israel. The National Park of Tel Dan, at least for me, is one of my favorite places to come in the north. You see, no matter what you're looking for, no matter who you're coming with, there is something for everybody here. And today, together, we only touched on a few different sites. You could spend days just walking around this one national park and you still wouldn't see everything. Come with your family, come with your friends, come with a Bible, come with a packed lunch. No matter what you're looking for, whether it's nature, whether it's an escape, whether it's just to cool off in the hot summer months in the wading pool, or perhaps you're looking for archaeology, history, research, science, it's here. Or perhaps you're just looking to reconnect with your Bible, with the people of Israel of ancient times. Whatever it is, this place has what to offer. And make sure you're not rushed, because you're going to need the time, and you'll thank me later that you could spend the whole day here, and you should. Thank you for coming with us as we explored and discovered the National Park of Tel Dan. I'm Paul, and I want to invite you to come here on your own, take your time, and enjoy it, and experience the people, the places, and the land of the Bible.
The Hula Valley is a place of renewal where nature and history intertwine. From biblical battles to conservation success stories, this land continues to shape the story of Israel. Tel Dan blends stunning landscape with archaeology, tied to biblical figures and kingdoms. It remains a vivid example of Israel's ancient northern frontier. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join us next time as we continue to connect you to the people, places, and land of the Bible.